In the serene and frigid nights of Calgary, where silence blankets the streets and peace feels ever present, a horrific crime tore through the calm. It was the story of Arcelie Laoagan, a dedicated immigrant mother who tirelessly worked to secure a better future for her family. But on that fateful night, her unwavering dreams were stolen by a shadowy predator, Christopher James Watcheston, a figure hidden in the darkness, his piercing gaze locked onto his unsuspecting prey. When Arcelie stepped off the train on her routine journey home, no one could have foreseen that it would be her final steps. This is more than a tale of uncovering a crime. It is a chilling reminder of the lurking dangers in ordinary life and the resilience of those seeking justice. It is a story of heartbreak, the determination of investigators, and a family's irreparable loss of their beloved mother. Join us as we delve into the haunting case of Arcelie Laoagan, where every detail reveals the stark reality of a crime that shook the entire community.
Arcelie, it's the police again, trying to get a hold of you. Call 911 if you need the police to let us know where you are.
We needed to find her right away. We just didn't know where.
I answered the phone and he said, Jane, Arcelie's missing.
You just know the resolution wasn't good.
It's a very difficult case to imagine.
The worst one I've ever seen. As you're getting more information, you're like, whoa.
All you could feel was the devastation. This was a true whodunit.
Prelude, a cold night. On January 17, 2008, Calgary was gripped by a deep freeze. The city, known for its tranquility, was winding down as darkness blanketed the streets. Amid this harsh winter, Arcelie Laoagan, a 41-year-old immigrant from the Philippines, finished another grueling day at work. Arcelie was a woman of unyielding determination. She had left her home country 4 years earlier with a single goal: to provide a brighter future for her 5 sons, who remained in the Philippines with their father. As a devout Catholic and loving mother, Arcelie's life revolved around her faith, her family, and her tireless efforts to save enough money to reunite them in Canada. That evening, she left her job at a downtown printing company around 10 p.m. The biting cold made her hour-long commute even more challenging, but she was no stranger to sacrifice. Arcelie boarded the C train at Franklin Station, as she did every night, and began her usual route home. Unbeknownst to her, she was being watched. The shocking discovery.
I'd like to report an incident of some sort. I was walking to the bus stop this morning and I found a dead lady.
You found what?
A dead woman.
Where?
In Calgary, in Franklin Station.
Are you there right now?
Well, I'm not there with the lady, but I'm at the station.
And you can tell us where she is?
Yes, I know where she is.
And you are sure she's dead?
She's not getting up.
The following morning, at approximately 5 a.m., a passerby stumbled upon a chilling sight near Grace Baptist Church. Lying motionless on the snow-covered ground was the battered body of a woman. Police arrived quickly, and it wasn't long before they identified the victim as Arcelie Laoagan. Her body bore evidence of an unspeakable assault. Her face was swollen and bruised beyond recognition. Her trousers were tangled around one ankle, and her coat was still on, a chilling detail that hinted at a desperate struggle in the freezing cold. An autopsy later confirmed the horrifying extent of her injuries. A severe blunt force trauma to the head had caused her brain to stop functioning. Multiple facial fractures, including her jaw, nose, and cheekbones. Internal bruising to her stomach and chest. The medical examiner described the force of the attack as so brutal that her skin had separated from her skull. Adding to the tragedy, her body was found just outside a church, a place of solace for Arcelie, a devout Catholic. This symbolic detail shook both her family and the responding officers, one of whom knelt beside her body and said a prayer, vowing to bring her killer to justice. The investigation, the first clues.
Calgary Police Emergency.
There's something happening on the head radio. The utility lady called me that he needs a help in that road.
Okay, are you there?
I'm not there, but I'm driving because it's difficult to drive. And he said there's a guy who with her.
Okay, so a guy what? Her? I'm having a hard time understanding you.
Raping her.
There's a guy raping her. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know, so you passed by?
No, I am a friend from that girl.
Okay, so she called you.
And she called me.
Why wouldn't she call? Does she have a phone number I can call her at?
The scene provided the first clues for investigators. Tracks in the snow showed signs of a struggle and drag marks, indicating that Arcelie had been forcibly moved. Blood splatters and torn fabric along the pathway painted a gruesome picture of her final moments. Police immediately turned to surveillance footage from Franklin Station, where Arcelie had last been seen. The grainy video revealed her walking alone, bundled in a thick coat and carrying a bag. But she wasn't the only one captured by the camera. A young man in a yellow jacket appeared in the footage. His behavior was suspicious. He loitered on the platform, glanced around nervously, and then began following Arcelie as she left the station. Further review of the footage revealed even more disturbing details. The same man had been seen earlier that night, pacing up and down train platforms and observing women. His actions suggested a pattern of predatory behavior. With no time to lose, investigators focused on identifying this man, the suspect unmasked. The breakthrough came when detectives examined items found near the crime scene. A construction helmet and a distinctive blue bag were linked to a local iron workers union. The union manager, after reviewing the footage, identified the man as Christopher James Watcheston, a 21-year-old with a history of petty crimes. Police moved swiftly. At Watcheston's residence, they found the yellow jacket prominently displayed. Bloodstains on its sleeve matched Arcelie's DNA, and her purse, containing her ID and credit cards, was recovered from the scene. When confronted with the evidence, Watcheston initially denied involvement. But the forensic evidence was irrefutable. His DNA matched samples taken from Arcelie's body. Her blood was found on his jacket and boots. Cornered, Watcheston finally admitted to following and attacking her. The savage crime. In chilling detail, Watcheston recounted the night of the murder. "I saw her on the train," he confessed. "She was alone. She looked tired, like someone who wouldn't fight back. I thought no one would care if she disappeared." As Arcelie disembarked at Franklin Station, Watcheston followed her at a distance. The station was quiet, the snow muffling his steps. When they reached a secluded pathway near Grace Baptist Church, he made his move. "She screamed," he said coldly. But there was no one around to hear her. What followed was an assault of unimaginable brutality. Despite her desperate pleas, telling him she was a mother and a wife, Watcheston showed no mercy. He sexually assaulted her and then delivered fatal blows to her head with his steel-toed boots. "I thought it would all just go away," he concluded, devoid of remorse. The trial, justice delivered.
Christopher Watcheston was later charged with her murder. His trial on first-degree charges began today. Good afternoon. Arcelie Laoagan's killing and the trial that's now underway is our top story tonight. Brian Labby was in court this morning. Brian, we learned a lot of new information about this case in court today.
Yeah, that's right, Norma. Very disturbing details about the final minutes of Arcelie Laoagan's life. Now, in an agreed statement of facts read by the prosecution today, Christopher James Watcheston, who was 21 at the time, followed Laoagan onto a secluded pathway and attacked her. Now, his DNA was found on her body and her blood was found on his clothes. Laoagan's sister was in court this morning. She was overcome with emotion while talking to reporters.
Well, it's been a long time to wait.
her death is all in question.
Watcheston is being represented by high-profile defense lawyer Alan Hepner, who says he won't be commenting while the Crown delivers its case. Now, the prosecution is expected to call about 30 witnesses over the next 10 days or so, and we'll have more news from the trial and some of the other evidence that was presented. That's coming up at 6 o'clock, including how the defense will balance its not guilty plea with the admission Watcheston was involved in the crime.
Christopher Watcheston was charged with first-degree murder, a crime that carries the harshest penalty in Canada. Life imprisonment without the possibility of parole for 25 years. During the trial, his defense team argued that he was intoxicated and under the influence of drugs, claiming he lacked intent to kill. However, the prosecution dismantled this narrative, presenting overwhelming evidence of premeditation and cruelty. Forensic experts and behavioral analysts testified that Watcheston had deliberately stalked Arcelie, choosing her as his victim. The judge ruled that the assault and murder were part of a single, calculated act. Ultimately, Watcheston was convicted of first-degree murder. Conclusion: lessons from a tragedy. The murder of Arcelie Laoagan devastated her family and the Calgary community. Her story is a grim reminder of the dangers that women face and the importance of vigilance and public safety. Arcelie's dream of reuniting her family in Canada was tragically cut short, but her memory endures. Her courage in the face of unimaginable terror and her unyielding dedication to her family continue to inspire those who knew her. This case serves as a stark warning of the darkness that can hide in plain sight and a testament to the relentless pursuit of justice by those determined to ensure her story was not forgotten. Arcelie's light may have been extinguished, but her legacy shines on as a beacon of resilience and hope.